Yeah, okay, you can take me off stage. I'll be right back. I gotta grab my coffee mug. That's too serious.
Kevin has to grab his coffee mug as we start the Unlinked Stand-Up meeting. I keep wanting to call it the Unhinged Stand-Up meeting. There's a reason for that. There's someone unhinged in my life right now who I wish wasn't so unhinged or wasn't in my life. Kevin's making a lot of noise there. I'm going to turn him off. Anyway, welcome. Today we have me, Brad Hutchings. I'm your fearless stand-up meeting leader. We have Soumen Sarkar from, I'm hoping that's a couch and not a bed, but look, you guys dream whatever you want to dream about Soumen. We have Kevin, who is muted and who has the perfect position for his hat. I don't know how he pulls it off, but he does. We had a lengthy discussion about that before the show, which we won't bore you with here. I'd like to start our stand-up meetings with just a little update from everybody. Soumen, why don't you tell us what's going on with you? Personal life. I don't want to hear business stuff.
Actually, this time, my personal life update is very much the technical, interesting update for the stand-up. That's what we discuss in this Unlinked Stand-Up. So I think I'll mostly keep it as a surprise, but just to give the intro, my younger brother, he is a chief engineer in Merchant Navy. So he takes few assignments per year, few months long, and that kind of does it for him income wise. But it's also quite dangerous. And what I'm going to discuss in the main portion of the stand-up is the interesting take that I derive, and I have done it several times in past regarding nature of engineering and software engineering and product liability and accountability. So I think I'll reserve that for the main portion. But yes, like my chat with my younger brother was pretty interesting over the last 2 days.
Cool. Kevin, unmute yourself. Actually, I'm going to unmute you. You can unmute.
I can speak again? Oh, yeah, yes. That's good. I walked out to my car with my AirPods, and apparently made a racket. But yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for noticing my hat. As we mentioned, that was a good 30, 40 minutes of my day today to get the ankle just right. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm interested in hearing what Soumen's got to say. And I was going to just briefly discuss a stage show that I'm writing and working on. And it's for fun. It's not like a TED Talk or something like that. Yeah.
So is that your topic or is that your intro? That's your topic. We'll go to your topic. My topic. I'm not doing a topic. My personal update is, well, if you run stand-up meetings with me the past 10 years, you've heard me say this many times, I'm too old for this shit. And that comes from a movie. And I'm blanking right now what movie it was.
Lethal Weapon.
Yes, Wesley Snipes, right? Am I right?
No, Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, damn it. I'm sorry. I apologize to everybody who took my misattribution the entirely wrong way. That was not the intent. My mind blanked. Okay, happens. I don't mean it in the way you think I mean it. You all think I mean I'm too old for all the stuff that is thrown at me. I'm not too old for all the stuff that is thrown at me. What I'm too old to do is to accept that sometimes you just can't win everything. And when I was younger, I could accept that lots of things were thrown my way and I didn't have to win anything. I didn't have to win everything. I could win one thing occasionally and be happy with it. And right now I'm just too old for shit because I feel like I have to win everything. And in fact, if our Uncle Pete were here, he'd be laughing at me for the meltdown I had over StreamYard features, making stuff work. You know what? I didn't put us back on the stage. I'm so sorry. You guys, this is almost embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I don't like that one. Let's try this one. There, we're back on the stage. You guys are just hearing our lovely voices without seeing us because I was not paying attention. Like I said, I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old to not take a loss. And so this was a loss I was not going to take. Yes, I was having a meltdown yesterday. Yes, I did not get the event created last night because I gave up in disgust and just said, I'm going to wake up in the morning and do it. And that's what I did. So yeah, I'm too old for this shit. Kevin, why don't you go into your topic today?
Okay, sure. Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy that the viewers can see the angle of my hat. I want to bring a special, perfect. And so this is a side project for me. Obviously, I spend most of my time working. When I'm not working, as I mentioned in the last one, I go to a lot of concerts. And I've come to this realization that I probably missed a calling in my life of being some sort of college professor. But that's mostly because I really didn't like college, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense. But I do feel this responsibility to share some of the things that I've been thinking about. So I've been constructing a stage show. It's not like a TED Talk or like a conference meeting or anything like that. I'm actually doing it in pieces. There's about, at this point, I don't know how many segments I'm going to do, but they're roughly 10 to 15 minute segments. And they're all different, but they have one underlying theme. And it's basically that there's all of these things that are obvious, but they turn out to have been sort of hiding in plain sight. And I'm really excited about it. That's something that's giving me a lot of like joie de vivre.
Is this a one-man show?
This is a one-man show. I'll be using sound and projection. I have to figure out, there's some things that I have to figure out around licensing because there are some, clips and some songs and things like that that I feel like would really, add some oomph. But worst case scenario, I'll just generate it with something similar with AI. As I found that you can do, yeah.
You could ask me to sing for you too. I would be happy.
Yeah. I would. I have considered that. It's the whether or not this is something that I would do like a one-time thing or it actually turns into something more. I can fantasize to the point where I have all of my friends on stage with me. But I think at this point, trying to just manage me is probably enough.
Yeah, it'd be wild if they weren't really on stage with you. They were just avatars on stage with you. That would be totally
wild.
Soumen.
Hi.
What do you got for Kevin here?
So actually, Brad knows this practice. Generally, I don't speak here without writing about it first. So I do have a post on LinkedIn. So, and like this particular stand-up, it's curious because my personal update is also very much linked to these technical and interesting things that we talk about in this stand-up. So what happened is over the last 2 days is that my younger brother, who currently he's not at sea, who is a chief engineer in Merchant Navy, and he takes a few assignments, a few months long, or to a maximum 2 months long, and that does it for his income stream and such and such. It's pretty lucrative career, but it's also dangerous. And he basically let me know an event that has happened in the route he services, which is Bay of Bengal, and also sometimes he does Arabian Sea. So what happened is that there is a Chinese, a Panama flag ship, mostly Chinese nationals. It loaded iron ore in Paradip port, and when it was loading, it was heavily raining, and most likely it loaded wet iron ore into its hold. And then after 2 days of loading, it basically set sail. And in Bay of Bengal, it quickly disappeared. And 2 Chinese nationals were recovered or rescued. And as per them, the ship listed suddenly and then sank within 8 minutes. The total crew was 24 people. Only 2 have been rescued, so 22 has disappeared in sea. A pretty sad situation. So after this, after this chat, I tried to take some interest. So I did some Google search because it was shocking to me. So I did Google search, and then came to know one keyword that is mentioned one or two news articles. It's called liquefaction. So I took a look at liquefaction. It's pretty interesting actually. So I don't know when it is loaded. It is somewhat like a hard rock, but it is also pretty brittle. So during handling, it basically becomes like a dust. And if it is wet dust, and there is a bulk load, so when the ship basically moves, like in rough weather, rolling and such, this dissolved water and the iron ore, they basically tussle with each other, and the dynamic energy cannot escape. So what it does is that the energy that is created out of this motion, it gets converted like a capacitor, and basically contributes to the phase change of this mixture. So from the mixture, iron ore plus rainwater, it becomes a slurry. A slurry is almost like a liquid, it's thick liquid. And once this phase change happen, and this is a very well-known phenomenon in material science, it starts to roll along with the ship. Most importantly, what happens is this thick slurry is not at phase in phase with the ship, because it's a thick slurry. It has its own momentum, and ship rolls, it will roll slowly, and ship comes back, it will roll back slowly. So this out of phase creates further destabilization, and then ship may cause listing, there is a narrow stability range for ship. Like if it lists more than 15 degree or 20 degree, it will ship. It will sink, and then it sank quickly within 8 minutes, as per the two rescued Chinese nationals. But that's not the point. The point I try to bring in my LinkedIn post is that I explained this, and then I said that, look, folks, engineering is hard. The engineering is really hard, and it's very technical, and it's very multidimensional, multidisciplinary. Like I have masters in electrical engineering, but I don't consider myself an engineer because I earn my money in software, which, by the way, I have made many times, several times at this point. It's not engineering. Now, software can be part of an engineered system, but so then if you are part of the system, like if you're part of that overall system, let's say that you're part of Boeing, then you can say that I am part of Boeing engineering. But if you just focus on software, and if you don't have overall accountability, product liability, and such, because software escapes all that. There is no product liability law. There is no hard accountability. The natural laws, like liquefaction, of the laws of nature, do not work against software. So, so I hope, with increasing production of software by AI and increasing automation, this accountability, end-to-end accountability, comes back to the product, for which software could be a part. But that was the point of my post. That there has to be more accountability and reliability and such things with engineered systems.
Yeah, I really like the attention drawn to, hey, this isn't really engineering. Back in the 80s, Airbus Industries decided that software engineering, the best way around it was to have computers vote on what to do with their computer. It's called inversion programming. It crashed an airliner in India, killed 200 and some odd people. And the people who were thinking about software engineering at the time as a discipline that was like above programming, and weren't thinking about it like sanitation engineers, like I've talked about before. They were thinking about making this a discipline, making it engineering. They focused a whole bunch on that particular technique and how it was a not so great technique. I think it would be a like inversion programming would probably catch on in a minute today in popular commercial software development circles. So yeah, I mean, it's a great point, Soumen.
And there are people who has talked very strongly about it. One of them, I have many gurus. So one of the guru is Sam Kenner, quality guru, also a professor in University of Florida. So he has written a book called Bad Software, and that book, Bad Software, is written from a point of JD, Juris Doctorate, which Sam Kenner is, by the way. He's a lawyer. and he has written a book called Bad Software. So I don't want to belabor the point, but I don't want to forget this. The dangerous profession we are in, and we need to take more accountability, responsibility, and such and such. I'll stop here.
Right, Kevin. Who says the AI trolley isn't creative? It'll just split itself in half and go both tracks for sure. So, because that would be the best solution. That'd be the optimal solution.
Oh yeah, I have it inverted, by the way. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
No, you had it right the first time, but it's okay. Don't sweat it. We get the point. Yeah.
Is it not backwards too? Okay, well,
it is
whatever.
backwards now, but your whole screen is back. Your whole life is backwards, dude.
My whole life is backwards. That's so true. Well, I guess the virtual camera has to flip multiple times. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
You sound like you're catching up to me on the too old for this shit.
Yeah. Well, let's just get back to normal. How's that? Oh, we're so much better now. Okay.
You're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's awesome. That's a really good point. This whole idea that the level of complexity still astounds me. Like, no matter how simple and graceful we want to make these software systems, reality doesn't align with our elegant plans. And that's seems to be like a lesson that I have to keep learning. Because in my mind, as a systems guy, I'm always going to, well, what's the elegant solution? And I think that the driving point of the elegant solution is always, I want to write this and never have to think about it again. And what I found is the more that I've built systems based on that premise, I end up spending more time with them.
The more thinking you're going to do. So my topic today, Lex Friedman dropped a 5+ hour interview with, I'm going to rename him, David Benedict Arnold Heinemeier Hansen, who I used to like that guy, and now he's the enemy. And with his heel turn toward agentic programming, he was the guy I would say, hey, this guy's successful. Also, he has great hair, and his teeth game is very, very weak. I would beat him there handily, and I will catch up with his hair one day. But what I'm going to tell you is that his thing about typing in all code that goes into his product by hand, it seems pedantic as hell, but it solved more problems with more bad coders than you could ever imagine. Like, millions of people became great coders because they slowed down and they typed it in. He will always be underrated just for that. I mean, forget Ruby on Rails, forget all this other stuff he did. Just that one thing probably contributed more to good software than anyone in history. And he's abandoned it because now AI writes all his code, and he's all happy for that. And he's 5 hours he spent on this. Actually, he spent 4.5 hours on that topic. And the last half hour I listened to this morning while walking the dog, and it was about his political takes and how they get in the way of common courtesy and everything else in his everyday business life. The one they focused on was immigration. He's not for open borders, and certainly, with his Danish background, sees a flood of African and Middle Eastern immigrants and Soumen, sorry to say as well, I would also say subcontinent immigrants as, a bit of a problem for their little country. And he talks about it not, he says, look, everybody's going to say it's a racial thing. It's not a racial thing. It's a culture thing. We'd like people who could come here and, assimilate to our ways. His wife is American. She's of Scandinavian descent. She has blue eyes, blonde hair. She's hot as hell. She certainly should fit in Denmark. By the way, my one trip to Denmark, riding in a cab through Copenhagen, here's what I can tell you. They were all in great shape. They were all riding bikes, and they were all hot as hell. The men were hot as hell. I mean, I don't swing that way, and the men were hot as hell. But the women were hotter, okay? Like, there is a culture, there is a thing about Denmark that makes Denmark Denmark. And his wife, who should physically fit in immediately, she's got everything she needs crossed. finding it very difficult to do. Like, they come back to America, she feels at home. She does not feel at home there. And he talked about that a bit. So I listened to that today, the immigration part of it. Here's what I find interesting is as quick as he is to bemoan the fact that we can't have a political conversation, his heel turn has done the same thing in software. And he spent a good 30 minutes of the interview ridiculing open source maintainers who don't want vibe coded contributions on their projects and saying, well, this is what we want. We want, we want open source to be the democratic creation of software. And I can't think of anybody except the weirdos who ever wanted that. And Eric Raymond didn't want that. Linus didn't want that. Linus wanted a distribution channel. That's what he wanted, and the Ayatollah of open source, Eric Raymond, the original Ayatollah, he's a Muhammad of open source, if you will. This was a side note in his screeds was democratic production. No, it was like, we want to be able to cooperate in a way that helps us cooperate, helps get it published, the whole thing.
I think it's a really valid point. Yeah.
So anyways, I am not against vibe coding. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to, you know what, Soumen, you went on a long time the other day, so I'm going to go on an extra couple of minutes here. This is what I really wanted to say about DHH, not get into the seriousness of this. I bought my first Lexus in 1999. It was an LX 350. LS 350 sedan, and it was the F Sport model, and it was used, and it had 20,000 very gentle miles on it, and it was at a price where I basically paid cash with a $100 a month payment because I got it interest free, and the loan guy got a bonus for selling me the loan. I mean, it's the only reason I did that. Otherwise, I just paid cash for the thing. Here's what I want to tell you about that car is I drove in, and I was living in a condo complex at the time. Everybody's stacked on each other. The garages are next to each other. I drive it into the garage, and one day, I think I'd had it for a couple weeks, and my neighbor, his name's Juan, he lived upstairs from me. Juan says, "That's a really nice car, Brad. How do you like this? How do you like that?" He's like pointing out things on the car. And, I'm kind of uncomfortable. This is not why I got the car, was to be showy. I got the car because I really love the car. Okay. That's why I got it. I'm not showing off. And, my dog's, she's going to get transported in the car and stuff like that. So I've got extra problems with having a super nice sedan like that with transporting a big dog. And all this, it was quite work. It was a lot of work. But he asked me, how do you like this? How do you like the steering? How do you like the radio? How do you like all this stuff? And I tell him, hey, it's really nice. It's what I want. Well, here's what Juan drives. Juan drives an old Pontiac Vibe. Okay. I would describe this car in that community, it's a condo community in Rancho Santa Margarita, California, the safest city in California, perennially safest city in California. I would describe that car as blight. Like, it gets parked. It would occasionally get towed by the HOA. It was never cleaned. It had spider webs growing on it, the whole thing. It was blight. It was really an awful car. But I felt obligated after he asked me all about my car, that I asked him about his car. And he says, well, it gets me where I need to go. I don't have to go a lot of places. It's just point A to point B, gets me to work and back when I need to. I don't feel bad parking it out in the lot rather than the garage, all this stuff. I go, Juan, look, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your Pontiac Vibe? And Juan says, I think I'd give it an 8. And I go, Juan, do you know what you are? Juan goes, what am I, Brad? And I go, Juan, you're a vibrator. And this is kind of how I feel about watching 4.5 hours of DHH, David, Benedict Arnold, Hannah Meyer Hansen, telling us all the great things about vibe coding and not acknowledging that there are any downsides or any things to be concerned about. DHH is a vibrator. That's what he is. He gave it a very high rating. and he didn't.
Yeah, like Brad, I felt, like he did stuff, but after that he was mostly more of talk, and
Yeah.
most about narcissism, because
Yes.
I once pissed him off saying that, like, hey, I'm seeing more of a glorifying than technical content. He's straight I blocked me off. Like, you can go and check on LinkedIn. DHH has blocked me. He was my first degree connection. So and I
Wow.
just, yeah, I just kind of, hey, in your post, I'm seeing more of narcissism compared to technical content. Next day, blocked.
I mean, I always kind of dug the narcissism part. I thought it was, I'm a race car driver. F you guys. I mean, that's like, that was a funny character to me. I mean, he was a good character.
Oh no,
he was,
he's like awesome. Long hair, such a beautiful wife, and
yeah, exactly. No,
multi-millionaire. But still,
yeah,
when
yeah,
you come to the public discourse, right, you are coming for thought leadership.
yeah, yeah. I
Not for
agree.
projection, right?
It was, but I mean, he was always playful about it, and I feel like. I feel like with this vibe coding thing, he's lost his playfulness, and even with Amachi, it's like he's trying to regain it, but it doesn't feel quite there. It feels a little bit off to me. But then again, I'm just looking at this as you were my hero and now you're the enemy. So I mean, I probably am looking at this through wrong colored glasses too. Anyway, that's what's up this week. I appreciate you guys for coming to my stand-up meeting. So I could hear your voices and know that you guys are okay. And that is the most important thing to me in a stand-up meeting. And we will, where did we go here? I think I was telling you guys that I absolutely lost my patience with StreamYard. Yes, this is totally true. The Unlinked Stand-Up podcast, by the way, Sausage Links. I just got that this morning. I just got the joke there. I apologize for telling everybody about that. Now you're never going to see this the same way. We will be back on Tuesday. I will have a much better attitude. I think Lewis will probably join us on Tuesday unless he's, completely done with me. And maybe we'll have Pete as well on. Did I say Saturday? I meant Tuesday. Anyway, just ignore what I'm saying. Just know that we're going to be here again. We're going to keep doing this. And if you're watching at home and you're like, our stand-up meetings suck, why can't we have a stand-up meeting like you guys just had? All you got to do is reach out to me on LinkedIn, reach out to Soumen on LinkedIn, reach out to Kevin on LinkedIn, reach out to all three of us and get a different prize from each of us. That would be hilarious. And one of us would probably come in and fix your stand-up meetings for you, because this has been on all our minds for all our careers. Just fix this one thing and maybe we can fix everything. So have a great day, you guys. Adios.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, thanks, guys. Bye.
Later.
Bye.